Welcome back to WWH. My name is Andrew Dreamer, and today on Ringside Review, we're looking at a very campy, meta slasher comedy that I think is a lot of fun. And that film is called Return to Horror High. Released in 1987, Return to Horror High was directed by Bill Froelich, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. The film is a clever homage to the slasher subgenre, blending elements of satire with genuine scares. It is a meta-narrative that plays with the conventions of horror filmmaking, offering a unique and entertaining experience that I think is both for fans of the genre and those maybe just looking for a good laugh. The cast includes George Clooney and Maureen McCormick very early in their careers. Now, I mentioned this film in a previous video talking about movies that you probably haven't seen but you should, and I just couldn't resist doing a full review on it. The story is set in a high school where a series of gruesome murders took place years ago, and a film crew decides to make a movie about the events. However, as they start filming, they discover that the murders may not be as far in the past as they thought. Now, if you've seen this movie already, let me know down in the comments what you thought about it. On that note, grab your yearbooks because we're heading down to the ring to get this show started. In 1982, the town of Crippen was shaken by a series of brutal murders at Crippen High School. The perpetrator, however, was never brought to justice. Fast forward several years, and Cosmic Pictures, led by sleazy producer Harry Sleerek, descends upon Crippen to film a biographical movie about the grisly events titled Horror High. To keep production costs low, the entire cast and crew temporarily relocate to the actual Crippen High School for filming, and lead actress Callie Cassidy is tasked with portraying multiple characters. As filming progresses, the eerie atmosphere of the real school begins to take its toll. Strange occurrences and unsettling discoveries plague the set, leading to a string of disappearances and murders. The local authorities, Chief Diner and the goofy Officer Tyler, played to perfection by Maureen McCormick, are tasked with investigating these disturbing incidents. Amidst the chaos, the film's screenwriter Arthur Lyman provides a chilling account of the events unfolding on set. As Chief Diner and Officer Tyler retrieve bodies from the school, Arthur recounts the surreal and terrifying experiences that have plagued the production, blurring the lines between reality and fiction.
What's going on here?
I don't know. We were just making a movie.
Just days prior to these events, the lead actor, Oliver, played by George Clooney, delivers shocking news to the director, Josh Forbes. He's withdrawing from the project. By the way, don't miss a single bone-crushing upload. Hit that subscribe button, unleash the horrors, and become a member of the WWH Universe. We're not just wrestling with horror. We're delivering it to your screen every week. Before he can depart, though, Oliver meets a grisly fate murdered in the school's empty wing. Harry, the producer, wastes no time in replacing Oliver with Stephen Blake, a former Crippen High School student and real-life police officer. Tensions escalate on set as Harry pushes for more explicit scenes from Callie, while Arthur struggles to keep up with Harry's demands for increased gore, forcing him to frequently revise the script. The atmosphere becomes even more charged when an extra is found murdered, followed by the death of Choo Choo, a special effects assistant. The situation takes an even darker turn when Richard Farley, another cast member, falls victim to a deadly booby trap that pulls him into an industrial fan with steel blades. As the death toll rises, the pressure mounts on Chief Diner and Officer Tyler to solve these gruesome crimes. As they wander the high school during breaks in filming, Steve shares with Callie the story of his past romance with Kathy, whose father, Principal Castleman, is serving as a technical advisor on the set. Despite being back in Crippen, Steve hasn't seen Kathy in years.
So, you never saw Kathy after the prom?
No.
Amidst these personal stories, Callie starts to notice the eerie vanishing of cast and crew members. Concerned that the killer might be back, she and Steve decide to conduct their own secret investigation. Callie's unease escalates when she witnesses a particularly gruesome scene being filmed where the school's biology teacher's heart is dissected.
Little Freddy. Come on, rich teacher. Steady. Dead little Freddy.
The scene actually had to be cut down quite a bit to avoid an X rating of the film. The unsettling events push Callie and Steve further into their quest for answers, leading them down a dark and dangerous path. Later, Steve's curiosity is piqued when he spots a photo of Kathy on set. He questions Principal Castleman about her whereabouts, but Castleman claims she's away in graduate school. That same evening, Steve and Callie stumble upon a chilling discovery, a trail of blood in the hallway that leads them to the lifeless bodies of Harry and Josh, and a hidden trap door.
They were my friends.
Look, there's nothing we can do for them now.
Descending into the basement, they come upon a horrifying sight, a classroom filled with the decomposed remains of the victims from the 1982 massacre, eerily posed at their desks. Their investigation takes a violent turn when Amos, the school janitor, attacks Steve. In the ensuing struggle, Steve manages to remove Amos's latex mask, revealing him to actually be none other than Principal Castleman. Castleman then confesses that years ago, after learning of Kathy's pregnancy with Steve's child, he flew into a violent rage, murdering Kathy and hiding her body in the school's basement. He then went on another killing spree, taking the lives of multiple students. With Callie's help, Steve overpowers Castleman, fatally impaling him with a javelin.
You are crazy.
The truth behind the 1982 massacre is finally revealed, but the horrors of Crippen High School will forever haunt those who survived. After Arthur finishes recounting the events to Chief Diner and Officer Tyler, the police enter the school to investigate. While they search the premises, Arthur steps outside and calls out, "All clear." Suddenly, all of the supposed victims who were laid out on the grass and covered in sheets rise up. Astonishingly, they had been alive the whole time.
All clear. All right, let's move. We're out of here in 30 seconds. Everybody grab your part.
In a twist, Callie and Steve had discovered through their research that Castleman was the true killer in the 1982 massacre, and they had killed him in the basement. Harry, the producer, decided to exploit this revelation by staging a fake massacre as a publicity stunt to promote his film.
Do you know how much publicity this is going to generate? They all died, but the film survived. It's going to back them in.
In the basement, the police find Castleman still impaled by the javelin, but somehow alive. He lunges at them, prompting them to open fire, shooting him multiple times in what is one of the most ridiculously over-the-top things I've ever seen.
Good, clean hit.
When they return outside, they find the bodies of the film crew have vanished, leading them to believe there is still a killer on the loose. The true nature of the events at Crippen High School remains shrouded in mystery, leaving a chilling sense of unease in the air. Sometime later, though, we see Arthur sitting at a typewriter, ready to pen a new screenplay he has titled The Return to Horror High, intended as a sequel. A framed photo of Principal Castleman rests on his desk, and as he begins to type, an unseen figure enters the room and approaches Arthur's typewriter, dripping blood onto the pages being typed. Arthur looks up and whispers, "Dad." While we're not given a definitive answer, the implication obviously is that Arthur is the son of Castleman, and this killer is still alive somehow. Don't try to make sense of it, just go with it. Look, is this movie messy? Sure. Disjointed? Yes. But for me, it's a good blend of comedy and horror, and it's just one of those movies you can turn your brain off and enjoy. I don't want to dive too deep into that yet, but we'll get to it. First, though, we have to take a short break. We'll be right back with more WWH action. If you're looking to save 20% off your order from Redcon One, I have a deal for you. Type in code AndrewDreamer12 at checkout and you will immediately receive 20% off. Head over to ProWrestlingTees.com/AndrewDreamer to check out some of my merchandise. Also, head over to Patreon and consider becoming a member of the WWH Universe. There's a lot of cool perks and we would love to have you. Alright, we're back. Let's head back down to the ring for the positives. The film's meta-narrative, which blends elements of satire and genuine horror, is a unique and clever take on the slasher genre. It offers a fresh perspective on the typical tropes of horror filmmaking. And remember, now we don't think meta is that uncommon, but in 1987 it was something new. This was before Scream, before New Nightmare. These elements hadn't really been explored yet. The film also features a very talented cast. The performances are generally strong, and the chemistry between the characters adds depth to the story. I love the way Return to Horror High injects humor into its horror elements. The humor and jokes just really land for me, specifically with the character of Officer Tyler. She's literally the goofiest character you'll ever see in a movie, but it's all intentional, and Maureen McCormick does a phenomenal job. She really leans into it all, and that really just comes across on the screen.
I slid from Greenway's chemistry class all the way to Brosnahan's English. Found this, though.
The movie is filled with plot twists and unexpected turns. I love it because it just adds to that overall over-the-top feeling. But I do have some issues with this film. Let's look at the negatives now. Like I said earlier, this movie is messy and disjointed, but I think that's by design for the most part, although it does make it hard to watch and follow at some points. Some scenes feel drug out and others feel rushed. That comes with the territory when you have a first-time director, though. This film's low budget also shows quite a bit too. I can look past that a lot, but sometimes the effects too look a little rough. And the overall production value just isn't very good. But despite of all that, I actually love this movie. It's cheesy, ridiculous, over the top, and dumb, but it's so much fun. I can laugh at it, enjoy the scares, and like I said, just have fun with it. That's all that I really want. Admittedly, I'm not hard to please when it comes to slasher movies. Give me a group of people and a killer chasing them around, and I'm usually going to be pretty happy. But that is going to wrap up this episode of Ringside Review. We took a look at Return to Horror High. Let me know down in the comments if you've seen this movie or what you think about it. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. We have a lot more coming your way very soon, but until then, my name is Andrew Dreamer, and this is Wrestling with Horror.